creation of the universe. In every age, people have always wondered how this seamless universe originated, where it leads to, how the laws maintaining its order and balance work. The Big Bang. For centuries, scientists and thinkers have made numerous researches on this issue and produced quite a few theories. The prevailing thought in the 19th century, which would later be scientifically refuted, was that the universe was a collection of matter, infinite in size, that had existed eternally and that would continue to exist forever. Laying the groundwork for the materialist philosophy, this unscientific view ignorantly denied the existence of a creator, while it maintained that the universe had neither a beginning nor an end. Materialism is a system of thought contradicting science, one that holds matter to be the only absolute being and denies the existence of anything but matter. Having its roots in ancient Greece and gaining an ever-increasing acceptance in the 19th century, this false system of thought became famous in the shape of the dialectical materialism of Karl Marx. The materialists consider the infinite universe model to be the most important mainstay of their atheist philosophies. For instance, in his book Principes Fundamenta de Philosophie, the materialist philosopher Georges Pulitzer claimed in an exceedingly ignorant manner the universe was not a created object, and gave hints of how materialism would be defeated by scientific data in the future by saying, if it were created, it would have to be created by God instantaneously from nothingness. When Pulitzer alleged that the universe was not created out of nothingness, he was relying on the static universe model of the 19th century and thinking that he was posing a scientific claim. However, science and technology that developed in the 20th century ultimately pulled down this primitive idea called materialism. It was found that the universe is not constant as the materialists supposed, and just to the contrary, it keeps expanding. Besides, it was proven with many observations and calculations that the universe had a beginning and that it was created out of nothing with a big explosion. Despite all the scientific data, however, materialist circles refuse to accept the fact that the universe was created out of nothing. A statement by famous materialist physicist Arthur Eddington makes clear the psychological state of materialists. Philosophically, the notion of an abrupt beginning to the present order of nature is repugnant to me. Nonetheless, scientists' criteria while evaluating any data should be the accuracy of the data, not their own ideology. Even though Eddington had hard times acknowledging this fact, science has proven that the universe came into being suddenly, that it was created, in other words. Materialist reactions were not limited to this. When asked for his view of the Big Bang Theory, German physicist Walther Nernst gave illogical answers to the effect that to accept these findings would be to betray the very foundations of science. MIT professor of physics Philip Morrison said in a British documentary, "I find it hard to accept the Big Bang Theory. I would like to reject it." Many scientists with the morals and ethics of science, however, stated that the Big Bang Theory was so right that it could not be denied for ideological reasons. As expressed in an article titled Big Bang Theology by the New Yorker writer Jim Holt, the Big Bang is probably the only idea in the history of science that was ever resisted because of its supporting creation by God. In his book, God and the Astronomers, the eminent astrophysicist Robert Jastrow criticizes materialist scientists for being reluctant to accept the Big Bang Theory because of ideological obsessions. There is a strange ring of feeling and emotion in these reactions. This religious faith of the scientists is violated by the discovery that the world had a beginning under conditions in which known laws of physics are not valid, and has a product of forces or circumstances we cannot discover. When that happens, the scientist has lost control. If he really examined the implications, he would be traumatized. As usual, when faced with trauma, the mind reacts by ignoring the implications. Consider the enormity of the problem for the scientists. Science has proven that the universe exploded into being at a certain moment. Who or what put the matter and energy into the universe? Was the universe created out of nothing? This is an exceedingly strange development, unexpected by all but the theologians. So how did that process the materialists regard as strange and unexpected develop?